Mic check, mic check. That might be it. Mic check, mic check. That might be it. Close this door. Mic check, mic check. That might be it. Close this door. All right, cool. I think we are rolling. I was unmuted. Y'all can see the background is changing a little bit, doing a little bit of working. We're building it as we fly. That's what we're saying. Now we're building as we fly. And I wanted to check in with you guys. I know it's Labor Day. I hope you all are having an excellent Labor Day. Some of you probably going to sleep right now. Had excellent time at the barbecue if you went to one. I'm glad you're safe. I'm glad you're in the building. Yeah, all right, let's get into it, man, because we see the title. It says men, it's time to get it together. It's time to get it together. And Lord knows when I come up with these titles, it's a lot of things that I've been thinking about. Mondays are a great time for me to have a live, because normally, definitely Sundays are a huge day of reflection, introspection, catching up on my reading. I'm going to put here in the comments the book of the month. It's almost going to be like the book of the year. I might have to get another book. What is it? The greatest salesman in the world or something, by Og Mandino. I don't know. I hope you all saw a picture of me reading it to my youngest, and he got through about 1.5 chapters, and he was like, "That's enough. What are you trying to do to me?" And I know I was attempting to push it. It's an excellent book. Definitely would love you all to check it out. We definitely could have some. Let me make sure I spelled that right. Had to have some conversations in regards to it. Recommend it to a friend. Excellent book. So great book of the month. Once you get into it, you'll see what it's about and why I say it's going to be a long-term reading. It'll be about 10 months of reading this book. It's a pretty small book, but very impactful. So far, so good. And I actually still have to do my last reading later on after I get off of this, before I finish painting this room. Yeah, so I wanted to get into it, and there was a couple things I wanted to go over, exactly how this month is going to go, because I want to have this month planned. Last month we did health. If you had a chance to check it out, please go back and look at the month of August. All August we spoke on health. It was an excellent month. As you all know, I'm in shape. I'm healthy. I was able to see a video of me working out. I don't know. This probably was like in January or February, and it was ugly. It was ugly. I don't know how I allowed myself, because it starts with the man, how I allowed myself to get that far out of hand. But it's nothing to get it back on schedule. I'll be under 200 pounds this month. I got up to 244, but go back and check out those health month of August. So I want to get right into this topic. We're 3 minutes and 30 seconds in. I don't want to waste any time. There's a lot of things going around on the internet. A lot of conversations are being had. Whole different worlds. Definitely opened up my eyes to a lot of different things. A lot of things that I already knew. You kind of know some things, and a lot of these things go hand in hand. I don't know if you all ended up watching The Matrix, but there's these different pills. That's what they call them on the internet. They're different pills. There's the blue pill, the red pill, the black pill. I haven't seen something called the pink pill. So, and all of this comes from the Matrix, where he had a choice of choosing the blue pill versus the red pill. The red pill would give him knowledge. The blue pill would give him back into that reality. And it was interesting to see a lot of us who live in these different realities. And I used to think I was weird. I was weird because certain things just don't make sense. There's definitely an attack. I won't even call it an attack. There's things going on with this masculine and femininity thing. There's a supposed war on whatever, but I don't want to get into that because a lot of it ends up being this victim mentality. And we are not running in the victim Olympics, because no matter what you lose, you will lose that race. It's up. We're at a point now. Well, you're at a point wherever you're at a point, but you gotta take your power back. Your attitude, your perception on how you see things, etc. So, that's why I titled this Men, because I can only speak for men. And when I'm saying men, I'm actually talking to myself as well. If you're in here, check in, like, share. And like I said, I want to talk about how we need, or how we can. I know what I'm going to do, what we need to do in order to get it together. And what I'm realizing is that a lot of us do not have a solid foundation. We don't have a solid foundation in this day and age, 2021. A lot of things are based on that up, down, left, right, A, B, start. Everyone's looking for a cheat code. Everyone's looking for a cheat code in life. How can I skip the process? And it's one thing if you learned the process. It's one thing for you to learn the process and then to, kind of make it your own. But it's a whole other thing to skip the process. And most things now are based on a lot of tactics and flash in the pan, day-to-day thinking, things that work today. This is the scammer mentality when you really think about it. Like things that work today. And I spelled this wrong. It's OG. It's Og. And is the author of that book. So I want to talk about men, what we can do. And this is just going to be the basics. We're going to start with the basics, and then we're going to go get into some higher level things as we move on through the month. So some of the things that we need to do. I'm in real estate. I'm a firm believer of owning things. So I'm going to tell you should own your own property, right? Your own home. At the very bare minimum, you should at least have your own place renting. You could rent it. It could be a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom place. Have a place to stay. This is on Friday, if you check out the Community Beacon, we spoke about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and at the bottom of it is essentially your bare basics, your minimums, what you need to survive, and one of them is shelter. You should have your own shelter. If you're over 25, 26, if you're not living at your parents' house or something to stack money, living with a roommate, stack money. And I'm just going to talk about people in my age range. I'm a millennial. An older millennial. And it was interesting because I just saw an article, I think it was in Forbes or Business Week, one of them, in which they said that millennials, 80% of millennials have less than their parents did at this age. They're worth less than their parents at this age. Most millennials are in debt, most notably student loan debt. Okay. Going to college, getting degrees that don't pay. And they aren't worth not worth the paper they're written on. You cannot go to college and assume debt 40, 50,000, 60, $70,000, 80,000. I've seen $100,000 worth of debt and come out and get a job that's $40,000 to $50,000. You don't understand how much that pushes you back. And most people, when they get out, it's forbearance, for the first 3, 4, 5 years. And then start thinking about paying it off in their 30s when they no longer have the forbearances. This is holding back. You know how many people can't, I've been in consultations of buyers who cannot afford property because their debt to income ratio, because of student loan debt, $100 and something thousand worth of debt. And the lenders are taking, on average are going to take about 1 to 1.5% and use that as your monthly income, whether or not it's in forbearance or you're not paying it or not. And can't and have decent jobs making $60,000, $70,000. Let's think about this. The average household in America, well, I think it's America, it's like 65,000. Florida's about the same or a little bit less, 58 to 65,000. Can't afford a house, can't afford a starter home. Right? So I said all that to say this. You need to have at least an apartment, bare minimum. Oh, and I kind of want to go on down the tangent of dealing with the student loan debt and etc. No, I'll wait. I'll wait a little bit longer. I'll wait. I'll bring it up a little bit later. Number 2, we're in Florida. You need to have your own mode of transportation. Stop borrowing these people's cars, man. It's not yours. You got to wash it and you got to put gas in it. Listen, own your own stuff. Own your own things. And it doesn't. And here's the thing is that I don't know, you got to have the Charger. Listen, go get yourself a Camry, a Honda Civic. And I did it, but nobody was talking to me like this. Listen to me. Nobody was talking to me like this. No one was giving me the game. I am giving you the game. Go get you a little car. If you live in South Florida, our transportation systems aren't the best. I think I rode on Palm Tran twice. I think I went on the Tri-Rail once, maybe once in my lifetime. I lived in South Florida my entire life. Right? Go get yourself a little car. You're 30 years old, 30 plus. Go get yourself a little car. You got to figure it out. We got to figure these things out. So I'm not preaching, because same thing. I went out and bought the biggest and most expensive car I could, and that set me back. I was able to parlay it into other things, but 1,000% set me back on certain things that I possibly could have been more efficient. You know what I mean? So get yourself a mode of transportation. Number 3, you got to be able to take care of yourself. What do you mean, Mike? Feed, clothe, and maintain yourself. Go learn something. And I'm going to start that as well, because this is very, very important. To be able to feed yourself. Stop eating this junk food now more than ever. We've come upon this thing, you know what I'm talking about? And the people who are most severely affected by it are the people who tend to be obese. 73% of the people who end up in the hospital who are severely affected by this thing are severely obese. And you could be skinny fat. Excuse me. I'm drinking this apple cider vinegar. I apologize. You could be skinny fat and you're getting knocked out. You have to get in shape. You have to worry about your health. You have to feed yourself. You need to learn how. You don't need to be a chef. I am going to show you. I'm going to put it together. I'm going to show you how to feed yourself. Bare minimum things that you can do in the kitchen. It's not going to be 5 stars. It's going to be able to get you to the next, but it won't be ramen noodles. Like, we're not in college anymore. No more ramen noodles. It's not going to be McDonald's. It's not going to be Dunkin', whatever, these little quick pick Wendy's, whatever it is. We're done. And it's going to be affordable. We're headed into the great reset. We need to position ourselves to come out of this thing with something. Everything is being reset. And the internet has made it a level playing field for everybody. You may not necessarily have all of the what would you call it? Helps, whatever, like it was before. But the internet has leveled the playing field. People are getting, there's money out there to be made. You know what I mean? But it definitely starts with being able to feed yourself. You need to be able to clothe yourself. Here's interesting to me, because I know we want to be comfortable. Most of us just want to walk around and we want to be comfortable. I get it. Sweatpants and jeans. Look, I'm in my t-shirt, my Crenshaw hat. But it was a little bit. It's time for us to grow up. Okay? It's time for us to grow up and start acting as adults. That starts with the clothing. You know what I mean? We definitely have to start acting and being our age. It's just that time. And I was maintaining stuff. And then here's the last one. Probably the most important one. We have to watch the company that we keep. And I'm going to go very, very deep later on in the month in regards to the company that we keep. There's a saying that says that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. Take an inventory. Take an inventory of the 5 people that you hang out with the most and see where you're at. Okay? And if the 5 people that and we're not saying that they're terrible people, but it's where you want to be in life. So who's the most successful out of the group? Who's the least successful? You're right there in the middle. And if you're the most successful, you definitely need to get another group. You definitely need to find new people to hang out with. Start searching. Go to different meetups. One of the things I used to look at, go to different companies or parking lot. I just look at the cars in the parking lot. Just depend on, if it looks like it was success. And so, don't get me wrong. A lot of these people are fronting, but you can't front for certain things. And if the entire parking lot is filled with certain types of cars, etc., it sounds crazy. Go into that place. Maybe it's a gym. Maybe it's a cigar shop. But what we can't do is continue doing the same thing over and over again, hanging around the same people who have the same mentality as we do. And I'm not saying that it's the worst, but can it get better? Is it where you want to be? If you are where you want to be because you want to be there, then that's fine. Okay. But if you aspire for greater things and you just don't quite know how you're going to get there, then it behooves you to start looking for other people, being around other people, getting others intake. How are they thinking? How did they get where they were? Possibly you can model that behavior. And sometimes it's not for you, but it's fine. People are the key to life. Okay. So right now, the people that you're around, they had a key. Boom. You opened the room door. You're in this room with these people. You've probably been there for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Cool. Do you want to stay here? And if you want to stay here, that is fine. I'm not saying there's nothing. I'm not saying you're lesser of a person. Who I'm talking to are the people who want to move on to the next level. And I hope all of this makes sense. And I want to see everyone level up because I'm leveling up. I find people who are doing things that I want to do or going in the direction that I want to go in, and I latch on to those people. And I tell a lot of people, no, I can't hang out this weekend. I can't do this. I can't. This is where I want to go. I'm back in Boca again with the top producer, Mike Johnston's team, the guy I started off real estate with in 2017. The energy. Let me tell you something about being around a different kind of mindset and energy. It's different, man. It's different. We're talking about different things. Everyone's on the health kick. You should have seen Heidi. Shouts out to Heidi. The dishes that she prepared for Labor Day today, like it. No macaroni and cheese, no bar. It was all plant-based, but it looked so good. The type of things that we talk about, the type of things that we share. Everyone in there is healthy. Everybody's working out. Everyone's walking around with protein shakes. This is you having to be in. This is being intentional. I am being intentional with my life, the next chapter of my life, and I've always been intentional with it. But we all can get caught in the ebbs and flows of life. It's time to be intentional. That's what it means by getting it together. Be intentional with your life. Be intentional with who you hang around. Be intentional of the things that you are doing, putting into your brain, what you're listening to, what you're hearing. You need to protect this. You need to protect your mind. What are you letting into it? And check it. I'm not saying you can't listen to certain things, but you need to be aware. And you need to counteract it with something more positive. Okay? Cool. Listen, 21 minutes in. I appreciate you all. Very short video. We are going to get it together. I will be your guide. We're going to be talking about real estate. We're going to be talking about, and that includes land. I'm going to be talking about notes. We'll be talking about what the impending market correction. I don't think it's going to be a crash, the market correction, but there will be opportunities. And we're already gearing up for that over in Boca Top Producers. We are gearing up for our next step and what's gonna happen in this market. We've already seen the multiple offer situations starting to calm down. You know what I mean? So now it's time to move in the direction. Okay, what's gonna be the next step? You need to get around the right people. We are the right people. Listen, people, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. As you see, I'm getting the studio ready. A lot more to come, a lot more information, a lot more content. Stick with me. Love you guys.